and done. But everybody know, ain't no place like home. Me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad. When everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man. From you love think it's bad. Me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad. When everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man. From you love think it's
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're in tune to Win FM 98.9. That's on your radio dial. It's a beautiful Friday on the outside. Today's Earth Day, I think it is. So we are in St. Kitts. We are grateful to Mother Earth. We have some of the best weathers that you could talk about. We have the sun out when it needed. It's raining a little bit, but the breeze is so beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be for those of you who are in tune in the diaspora. St. Kitts, for me, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. We have people who we can boast a literacy of 98%, and in times like these, we have to refer to that. It's some place that you need to be at this time. For those of you who would have sold out your flags, I would advise you to start seeing how you can revoke citizenship and see if you can come back and see how we can build our little country. We have foreigners that are here and they're doing absolutely great people. We are the envy of the Caribbean, and as a matter of fact, I would compare ourselves to the rest of the world. We're a small island, but we boast a great economy, beautiful people, and our landscape is second to none. This is the Garden of Eden. I think here's where it was. People are not aware of it, but I think it's in St. Kitts and Nevis. I think it started in St. Kitts, and when Adam and Eve was expelled, they went over to that beautiful island called Nevis, and I suppose that's where they settled. So the first humans came from St. Kitts and Nevis, I believe. That's my theory. I have always been criticized for my opinion, but it's what I have, and so that's what I'm going to stick to. Well, it's about the time where we hear your views. Your Views is a program that is aired on Win FM every Friday morning around this time. It's a program that we can talk about whatever is happening around us in the diaspora, in the world. As a matter of fact, we have discussions on that, and we make sure that we try our best to inform. So the information that is brought on Your Views is information that has been tested, researched, and we make sure that it's as close to being factual as possible. We're not perfect. And so sometimes we would get information that can or need a little more research, but 99.9% of the time we are on the button. But first, I want to take this moment where we can take a minute of silence to recognize the passing of, it makes me very teary and very sad, but it's what it is, our Honorable Vance Emery. He has left us. It's an unfortunate time in which he decided to leave, but God knows best. And I suppose I want to say condolences to his family and to the family, St. Kitts and the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. We were his extended family. We appreciated all that he would have done for us. He have done sterling service to the Federation and to Nevis especially. He's a household name in Nevis. Everybody knows of him because he have touched everybody, basically almost every individual in Nevis knows the Honorable Vance Emery in a very, very positive way. It makes me very teary when I look at how fickle life is and how easy we can just take our last breath and go to eternity, to a place that we don't know, that some people think it's new, but it's when God desires for us to come home, he pulled that plug. And that breath he takes back, the one that he gave us, he takes back, and we are no longer human. And we have one chance to be human, and I would advise those of you who up to now haven't recognized that to make sure that you enjoy life to the best of your ability, because we have one time and one time only to be human. So only one time I'm going to be Sandra. The next time I don't know what I'm going to become, but we have only one time to be human. So we will have to make sure that we make the best of the times that we're here. Do good unto others as you will have them do unto you. Let's take a minute silence to recognize the passing of the Honorable Vance Winkworth Emery. Okay, a minute is a very long time. I just recognize it, especially a minute. Being silent for 1 minute, for me, it's a very, very, very long time. But it was for that purpose. We have to be grateful. We have had some wonderful people who would have lived in St. Kitts and Nevis, who would have ruled and who would have extended their expertise and their knowledge and their wisdom. They have passed them down to us, and I suppose that's how we keep history alive. And Mr. Emery, he was a very, very good friend of mine. He calls me Auntie. As every time anybody say Auntie, I know it's Mr. Emery. And when I read, I didn't hear. I went on the Facebook early in the morning and I saw it. I turned it off again because I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I just could not believe it. And it's the same thing for Kenrick and for the family of Kenrick Clifton. I want to say my condolences to you too, and we've had certain incidents over the weekend. I want to say condolences to all of those families who are grieving and mourning. Death is a part of the cycle of life. We do not understand what death is, but sometimes, one of these days, I suppose our Heavenly Father is going to make it known to us. Some of us who would have passed over and who would have extend their knowledge and would have studied and would have read more, would have a better understanding of what that is. But that is not so bad. If for us, we're going to miss them, we won't have the opportunity to talk to them. And that is why memories is something that you have to make and make sure that they're good, because it's always something that you refer to in the long run, in the absence. Sometimes my mother is not here, and I do miss her. She and I had a very good relationship, but I feel her presence whenever I want to communicate with her. She's there and I can talk to her. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But when you have to learn to build bonds, and not just with family members. We live in a world where we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know who is going to help us. And we, St. Kitts, is in a situation right now where I could not have believed. We have been there before. It's not the first time, so it's nothing new to us. We've seen that. We recognize in St. Kitts again that politics is something that we discuss all year round, 365 days in a year. We talk politics. It's never, ever, ever an ending story. And this morning I have with me a young man who I have great respect for, admiration to. In discussions, I didn't understand, I didn't recognize. I've seen him I've read his posts on social media and I see how active he's there. But I thought he was just talking, spewing for a party that he supported. But having discussions with him, I realized how genuine he is and how knowledgeable he is and how people-centric he is. And I take great pleasure in, and trust me, I wish you can have discussions that him and I have, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Weeks, yeah, he's known on social media, Damien. He's known to others. I don't know the other names, but I have him. Weeks, good morning and welcome to Your Views.
Hey, good morning, Sandra. It's nice to be here once again. It's always a pleasure, honestly, and always feel good to be a part of conversation and dialogue with you and the listening public. I too want to extend condolences to the family of the late Vance Emery. Real good man. Got to know him for a short time, after Team Unity came to existence, and from that we stay cool, have a mutual friend in the person of his personal driver, Emmanuel. So to hear the news was really, really, really shocking, and just want to express condolences to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, especially the people of Nevis and his family, on a whole, and especially the Team Unity movement, because that's a stabilizing factor that would be deeply missed.
That we need now.
Oh, yes.
We need that now more than ever.
More than ever.
But God has a way of, sometimes I say he plays some jokes on us, but he has a way of doing the right things. And let me tell you something, Damien. I am in a very good mood today. Why? Beneath all of this chaos, there is the truth. And I am privy to the truth, and that is one of the reasons why I feel so good. But one of the reasons, I'm not a politician and will never ever be. I have always been in politics, not as a candidate, but I've always, it's an interest that I have. Why? Because it entails us, the people.
Yes.
We benefit from the choices that we make. We suffer from the choices that we make. But the problem about the choices that we're making is a lot of times we make choices without information. And I have decided a long time ago that I wanted to be a watchdog, where I would look at all and would talk and give people the information so that they can make learned and informed decision, because that is what is the problem, is that people are making decisions but they don't have the information.
Yes.
You go on Facebook, talk about propaganda, it's there. You listen to the talk shows, with the exception of your views, propaganda.
Yes.
It's people are just talking from an emotional standpoint, because they support certain political parties, and that's where they are. I told you all last time that my mother was an ardent supporter of Palm, and because of that, I became that. After I started to be exposed to, because I used to go vote because it was for my mother.
Yeah.
And because somebody said, go and do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of how I felt, whether or not it was the right thing to do. So you got caught up in doing it. And one day I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I need to find out, because politics for me, I can't see why so many people are so interested in getting in.
Yeah.
I listen to the speeches before they get in, and I'm like, it's the best speech.
Best speech.
And then when they get in there, you want to know if it's a different person that went inside there.
Yeah.
Politics is about the people.
About the people.
We take our time, we elect governments so that we, the people, can be comfortable.
Yes.
But it irks me when you see we elect governments and people to represent us, and at the end of the day, they're the ones who benefit.
Benefits.
And when they can't benefit, they broke it up.
Mash it up.
Yes. This is.
But I mean, and my involvement and my reason for getting in politics is quite similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a community with poor people, village area, poor, struggling families, and I said, well, you know what? If I start to lend my voice, is because I want better to happen for people, and that's what I advocate for. Any kind of social assistance, any kind of assistance to, elevate anybody's life, job, any kind of thing. And that is something that I will continue to do. And if I realize that I can't do, I leave in.
Yes.
I mean, and that's where you see, I made a switch from St. Kitts Labour to People's Labour. I even made a switch when it comes to constituency. Because when you feel like your representative ain't representing you,
you leave.
I left.
And that's the same thing I said.
Left.
I am not going to go out there and people are going to say it. And I really don't care. And I want the general public to know that Sandra Queally Atherton is an individual.
Yes.
I do what I want to do. I do what I think is the right thing to do, and nobody can influence me in any way or pay. People can pay me to stop. But what I do for free. Anybody want me to stop doing what I'm doing?
Yes.
Definitely, you need to pay me. Because I do this from the honesty and from my conscience. And so therefore, nobody is going to, and it hurts me when I look at the petty situation. Now, we're going to talk about that today. Yeah. The petty situations and the petty things that would cause a government to fall. People like me and you are part of it. I heard that. Shocked the shoes off my feet when I recognized that a government for the people, because I decided to write what I feel like on social media, it became an issue, and that is one of the terms and conditions under which...
But the thing what bothered me with that is that when you're writing on another individual, they like it.
Yeah.
And they promote it.
They help, yeah.
And when you're writing on them to say, well, hey, no, I don't like what you're doing. I mean, I from number 3, I mean, I campaigned hard and vigorously with Miss Byron Nisbet, and she was victorious. And I would make a post. I say, hey, I don't like how the GNM look. I mean, minister sort it out.
I see you do that all the time.
And that's me. I mean, we just be at loggerheads. Sometimes she be like, oh, you can't just call and say. But I mean, sometimes you want people to understand that, hey, me want me alone be aware of it. I want the whole general public be aware of it. So I go into social media with it. And then never ever come between me and her. She understands.
That's her job. That is what you put her there for.
She keep on saying, well, hey, that's who you be. You understand who you be. You can say what you want and say what you feel and that kind of thing. But I mean, when it comes to the pet talk, I mean, just bring the money on.
Yeah.
I ain't turning on nothing.
Let me tell you, I never understood that the level of corruption in government, like I said, because I didn't have the information.
Right.
Now that I have the information, it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
I am not going to sit on the sidelines and see it happen.
Everyone should be held accountable.
It's the people's purse.
Yes, exactly.
Not the government's purse. It's the people. As a matter of fact, the government is the people. We put them there to represent us.
Right.
But when you look at the argument, the problems that we're having right now, it is power, money, no people.
Right.
The people are not involved.
No.
The people are not involved.
Nothing about the people.
The people was not even. They started off with a little few town hall meetings to say what.
Yeah.
But let's take this in order, and so people can really understand what we're talking about. Because I don't want to confuse anybody. One of the conditions that they have. I listen on the town hall meeting, so this is not hearsay, and this can be. People can, if you want to find out the information, you can. It's there. It's on. You can go on the social media and you can pull up the town hall meetings, and you can substantiate the information that I'm saying. The information is the certain ministers who are part of the construct were having issues because they can't seem to put anybody on PAP. You got some PAP figures there that you have any information about PAP, about who's where and how much people would have been able to place anybody on PAP?
Well, I mean,
figures.
Not really. They might not be accurate figures, but I heard even the representative from number 2 spoke, and he boasts about he being the second.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
His constituency being the second highest number of persons on the PAP.
Exactly.
And then it's like, but then your counterpart saying that the party can't get anybody on PAP.
Thank you.
I mean, when it comes to houses, you hear Hamilton say, hey, he's the minister of houses, why should anybody got more than me? And he's number 1 in housing. And he counterpart saying we can't get a house.
And those are the issues. That caused the mashup of the unity.
Well, not all.
There's some of the issues.
You need to stop talking, and the Prime Minister need to police social media for fake pages and make sure he call out the fake pages. I mean, we got to understand the power of social media. A fake page could be your own and could be an enemy of you and could be anybody behind a page. So why is it you want to say, hey, this page belongs to that person and this page belongs to this person? I mean, they're actually calling people name with and associating them with the page, and some people ain't got nothing about it. Then, you got a minister watching somebody bad because somebody in the camp say, oh, they're behind this page. And if you really, 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 get to have to say who these people telling you behind this page, you would shake your head. And
for me, those are petty, trivial.
Petty.
That has no way in government. Because
in
social media, everybody is on it. And nobody can tell anybody who to write and what to write about. We live in a democratic society, and therefore everybody has a right, to do whatever they want and say what. Freedom of speech. And those are some of the issues that I have. Let's go down to the point where you were talking about the PAP program.
Yeah.
We understand that there's a budget.
Yes.
Everything.
For everything.
For everything.
For everything. This step have a budget.
Everybody has a budget.
Everybody have a budget.
So the argument about money, and at the end of the day, we've had a budget.
Just back in
December.
Yeah.
And all the ministers.
952 million allocated.
And all of the ministers debated on it, and they said it was good. Like
they not only debate, they had a session. They had a session at by the building by the airport. I don't even know, but they had a session up there where everybody would come together with the PS and whoever, and they would discuss and they would say what they want to add and what they want to take away from the budget, and what projects they want to introduce and them kind of things. And
so all and sundry has a say in what's supposed to be in the budget speech.
Sometimes it make you wonder who would be really in there paying attention.
Then you ask the question, and then, but not only that, even though they're not paying attention, they're debating it. They're the ones who come up and say, it is good.
It is good, yes.
And so all of a sudden now, for 7 years, and this has been happening for 7 years. Let's go to first term.
Mm-hmm.
First term, it was good.
It was good.
You listen to all of these social media, and that's one of the good things about social media. Yeah. You can go back to all of those discussions, all of everything, and you listen to all of them saying it's the best prime minister they have ever had. It's the best Nevis would have ever had. The best relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis.
Best level of support.
Everything was the best.
Yes.
When God created human, he didn't say it was good. Everything else was good. Yeah. But he never said it was good. Yeah. Because that is one, and I learned that from earlier clock. Go in the Bible because you can find this. When he created, let there be light, there was light. He created the birds, and it was good. When he came to humans, he didn't say it was good. So we knew that we were flawed from the beginning. And it is a sad thing because at the end of the day, this is about our future, the future of our children. And we cannot take it lightly. It's not about your benefits weeks. It's not about my benefits because government cannot pay me. I don't work for government. Right. I work for myself. Why? Because I cannot survive. Not for the kind of life that I want to live. Right. I cannot survive on government salary. I go out and I pound the pavement and I work hard to make sure that I'm in a position. But at the end of the day, you vote for people who are going to go in there and who are going to rob you of a chance of a good future for your children. And do? You sit down and you allow it to happen? And that is one of the reasons why I started to talk. Because my children's future depends on the choice that I make at the poll. And I'm saying that people who are going to vote, they're supposed to have information. We have to stop this nonsense now of hiding things. Yes. I wish the Prime Minister would come out and show the requests of the people of his counterparts and see what they're asking for. But I can tell you...
he didn't have to. I don't see that on social media this morning, if you were privy to it. The letter, what they sent requesting, certain... Well, not requesting, demanding. And when I read some of them, because, everything, the country small, everybody got a friend. When I read some of them, I was like, well, to me this here seems like blackmail. The police investigating this.
Black is holding at ransom. The thing is, my thing is, it's like a hostage situation where you hold people at ransom, and you're going to tell the Prime Minister, look, he's a puppet. We want you to do this. Because what? You have a minority. Let's talk about the minority. You have an agreement because the agreement, the Nevis Accord, the Charleston Accord, has become a big issue.
Big issue.
And for me, they, for one time, they can refer to the Charleston Accord, and the next time it's not referred to.
When it's convenient.
The Prime Minister was supposed to be given 2 terms. And let me tell people who wants to believe that I defend Timothy Harris. No, I defend good leadership. That is what I defend. It's the first time, and I'm not going to say the first time, but people can now say that poor people are basically the focus of the government. That's what I thought.
The main concern.
The main concern. It was about the poor people. Poor people think and people say nobody think it's poor, but these are the people who provisions were made for. The STEP, the PAP. This is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this, because it's not about the government where rich people were getting richer. Poor people are now allowed to get a piece of the rock. I was at my happiest when I could have called sustainable development and asked and made my claim. I have children and they need to get a piece of the rock because they're going to buy it. Nobody giving you for free. No, okay. But it was a pleasure when I can see that I could get an application form and somebody is going to call me and tell me, your application has been found favorable. That was one of the best feelings that I could have had, so that my children could have, from government land. I have private land, so I don't have to worry about that. But at the end of the day, I felt good because you know how much time I would have applied for land?
Right.
Since I was 18, 19 working, I applied for government land, and I got government land in 2018 for the first time.
Right.
And so I felt good when somebody would recognize. And I listened to other people who tell me, girl, I just buy a piece of land, $3 a square foot. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And ordinary people.
Ordinary people.
Persons in the factory and in the supermarket.
Listen, and it made me. A girl came to me and she cried. She said, "Miss Adjutant, thank you." I said, "No, don't thank me. Thank the government."
Yes.
She said, "I got my keys. Felt so good."
Yes.
These are the things that makes me feel when this is what a government is placed in there for, to see, not to help the rich. They're already rich.
That's the sole purpose. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, that's the direction that some people want us to head. We're just about the rich. But I guess sometimes you feel like people might be a little upset because, the Prime Minister at the convention talk about, making more people like me and you millionaires. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? Who wouldn't want to grow up sleeping on lodging and then, at the age of 40, 45, there is a millionaire? And that's what this leadership wants to see happen for ordinary people.
But I need to take out the millionaire thing because people are taking this millionaire thing too seriously and they're becoming millionaires too fast. So but you want to be in a position where you're able, where you could chill with the where you could bamba and chill with the big boys.
Yes.
Those are the kind of things. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to be in a position. Everybody not going to be, because you can't force people to be that. But everybody who wants the opportunity to do so can do so. The Prime Minister understands poverty.
Yes.
I remember when we used to work at Social Security, and that is why I like him. Timothy, people don't know him. I know him from the level of a nobody, basically. A young man who wanted to make something of himself. A young man who understood poverty. A man who would eat half of my hamburger and drink out half of my orange juice and tell me, well, I thought you were going to share with me. That is the person that I know. The person that you sit with, and he understood what poverty was. But you know what I like about him? He was contented. He was very contented about it. And you see this, and he has taken this all the way through. People can say whatever he want, the one about him. I never supported Timothy when he was in the Labour Party. Never did. Timothy, we are always on the different ends of politics, different sides of politics. Never did. He became a part of PLP. He became a part of the Unity Construct, and it's from there then that when I voted for a Unity Construct.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the reasons that we end up on the same side. But I got to know him even better. And people out there can say, whatever. Timothy has fought against corruption. And it's his fight against corruption why he's here today.
Yes.
You can't leave a party because you think that it's corrupt and come to another party who wants to corrupt you more. And people have to understand this. The reason why people are moving, do not look at the fact, because people always say, oh, you got to look at yourself because everywhere you go, people have to run from you. No, look at why people want to corrupt him, and he doesn't want that corruption.
But not only that, look at who leave in and who come in.
Exactly.
You got grassroots persons, small, poor,
who are coming on now, following him. Why?
But you got maybe some persons who don't make millions and who have millions
and want more millions.
And want more. Leave in. Well, fine.
That's what we want. That is the space we want. If the ordinary man is going to become millionaire, we need to create those spaces.
Yes.
And people have to understand this. Don't look at the fact and don't listen to what people are saying. And they're going to say it, they're going to say, oh, Sandra, getting big money from Tim.
Yeah.
Hello. But Tim, you better know if you got money, you're going to give me some, because this is it. And I don't want the money from Tim. I am not talking for Tim.
Yeah.
I am talking facts.
Yeah.
You understand? You look at the situation where he came from. You look that he said, if I perish, let me perish. The truth has to be told. Why he said that? They were swapping our lands for debt. The VAT was becoming poor. People had to struggle under that VAT situation. We were moving. We went to the hands of the IMF.
Taking millions.
Think we're going down a slippery slide with slope.
Taking millions and outsourcing it to investors instead of investing
using
locally.
Your own.
Yeah.
And he had a problem with that.
Yes.
He spoke against it.
Yes.
And he moved away. And he was fired. He was fired.
Mm-hmm.
He was fired because of the fact that he said he's not going to tolerate.
I think people forget in this part that he was fired from the last administration. And if you feel like, hey, you don't want to be a part of a movement, a government, and you're speaking up about it live on radio and all kind of platforms, and you feel like, hey, you can't, you can't take it anymore, what the next step for you to do?
He resign. Exactly.
Yes.
So he was fired.
Yes.
He started his party, PLP. He has been And I went in. I'm talking from facts. I decided I was going to investigate. I mean, this, and you're on radio, so you can't say much. But he was accused of certain things, and I asked, but why would you? How much was it? They can't come up with a figure up to now to say how much was missing, but funds were missing. How much funds? Where the funds coming from? It frightens me. That's when I started to understand.
Yes.
What? Well, who gonna be putting them kind of money inside of a campaign? Why? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna benefit big time. And I sat down with my little, not so bright self, but I'm very analytical, and I started to say, wow, no wonder the rich people have such a hold. Government is not by the poor people.
Right.
We don't control government. It's the rich people control government because they invest monies inside of campaigns at the end of the day so that they can benefit.
Yes, they want it back. And they want it back 10 times.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
I was like, what? So all this time I'm voting, not realizing what I'm voting for, not having an understanding of what happens before you get into government. So you have an obligation to look after these people. That's why the poor stay poor and the rich become richer.
Yep.
And he decided, and then individuals in there wanted more and want more, and he decides no. And if people are honest, they will come out and say things. And they stay in the background because they can't make it. The whole country should suffer.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you realize that, I mean, there's only two persons we hear him from, really and truly. I mean, other persons who have opted to just maybe remain silent.
But why are you remaining silent and signing?
Exactly, you shouldn't.
If you're signing, then you should talk.
Yeah, you should talk.
And the people who are signing should recognize to whose it matters, because I think they feel that you could go to the Governor General and the Governor General can say, okay, then you, because they already earmark who's going to be the Prime Minister. That Prime Ministership is a problem.
It's a problem, yeah. And
it is a problem.
And even a sixth form student would know that you can't just go to the Governor General and say, hey, I want out X and Y and put in Y.
Well, if a sixth form and know what Nevis fair share should be,
yes.
well, I suppose a sixth form
yes.
should know that you can't go to the Governor General and he can make a statement.
Yes, step up.
Go back to the polls.
Yes, if you don't have confidence in your government, say, hey, I don't have confidence in myself, now my government.
It's the whole government. Right. So you're going to go to the poll. You're going to go and you're going to have a motion of no confidence against yourself. Against yourself, because you have no confidence in you.
It will be bold. It will be something bold to do. But then is who would market you? And then I
go vote for you again.
No, well, that's right. How you gonna market yourself after that? How you gonna basically say, well, hey, I'm a viable candidate, and I think that you should vote for me because
and
X,
you were
Y, and Z.
There already
when
and
you was in there
out?
and you said that you didn't have no confidence in yourself, so who now supposed to have confidence in you?
And vote for you again.
And vote for you again.
No, the truth must be told. You need to come out and say the things. When I look at what, and the reason why I'm talking like this, because when I look and I saw the child, and I shouldn't say that is not right. The petty requests that they're making. I mean, you're holding a whole country. Listen, you're talking about, they said they have been struggling for how many years? But at the end of the day, and let's talk about the Nevis, the Charleston Accord. And keeping the promise.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it because, and I know people are going to say a lot, but they could say whatever in my background. That is one of the reasons why I stay fat.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I can carry a lot of people on my back. Yes. Let me let's talk about the Charleston Accord. There was a situation in 2020, and I am talking because I have inside information. That's a bold statement I'm making.
Yes, very.
Very bold statement. Yes. Okay. In 2020, there was a confusion. And I'm going to say it because the Honorable Premier said that he was not in favor of the Prime Minister being so I'm not saying things that he didn't say.
Yes, he doesn't say.
So that means he broke the promise because they said it was 2 terms.
2 terms, yeah.
That was 2 terms given to him. He couldn't run anybody outside of 3 and 7. But there's a situation where you had the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister saying, it's good to see PLPs growing so fast in leaps and bounds, and they need to continue
That was at our
grow.
second convention.
Okay, so you see, I don't go conventions, never been 20.
Well, that's me.
Talk about how it's growing and they should continue to grow.
And you're only going to benefit Team Unity.
But more.
But now, no, Team Unity and PLP shouldn't grow. PLP should diminish into the West. I mean, how disrespectful you could
You could talk about it's your party and you need to stand up.
That's my.
Cool.
That's my party. I mean, I just say all the time, hey, people that say, but Unity, I say no, it's a PLP. You have people that say straight up, they spam. So
I think that was one of the biggest issues going forward. PAM could say that they're PAM. I is a PAM.
Yes, but you can't say
But
you is
you
a
can't
PLP.
say you're PLP because
you,
then
you had to say no, we is unity.
unity.
Yeah.
So PLP has to say we're unity, and PAM could say I is a PAM.
So it's basically we just there to help you out, tag along, whatever crumbs you give us, we had to take and them kind of things. And so if you say, well, hey, you ain't want win nobody number 6 because you can't win it, or you give it to PLP and let PLP invest the money in it and them kind of things.
And still.
And now you realize, well, hey, people gravitating to the party. Before you try to figure out why people gravitating to PLP, you just walk out, well, hey, let me shut down PLP. And what's a disrespectful is that you got no a premier. I mean, I don't have to say it because he said it in his document. You got no a premier accusing PLP of billing out in Nevis. Me never got to a church service in Nevis yet unless it's independence or team.
But you know what?
So why he always had to insert himself in a fray?
But why can't you be friends? Why can't you come? I had a problem because they accused me of having an interview with Janice Daniel, the female, and I was from a woman's point of view.
Yeah.
I was looking at to see how women are now asserting themselves and putting themselves in a position where they're vying for head in office. That became an issue. I am trying to push NRP agenda. I don't push people's agenda.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why, because they said this is a Timothy-sponsored program, and everybody's saying that. Win FM would have to tell them who paid them for this program. But that is one of the issues, is that I shouldn't have had me. How do I get into these things? I have whoever I want on my program. Yeah. I interview whoever I want on my program.
But you're part of the media. That's what media houses do.
But then I
You
am
can't
me,
be biased.
and this is what I want to do.
Yes.
And so if I invite somebody, everybody can put people on their program.
Yes.
So why can't I talk to whoever I want on my program?
Yeah.
And this is the disrespect that I have with these people. They're going around behaving like they own and they're gods.
Yes.
And you have to worship because you are subjects.
Subjects.
And so you do what they do. But that's the problem that I have. I cannot be controlled.
Yeah.
And that is one of my biggest problems. Nobody controls Sandra
Well,
Queally.
nobody's supposed to.
I say what I want. It's a democracy, and I
Yes.
have a right to say, you can go behind in the background and talk to people who have morning shows and who are going to bring down the government. And you are part of it.
Yes.
You are a part of a government that you give people information to bring down the prime minister.
bring down
And
the
then
prime
you,
minister,
in your
cost the prime
hypocritical
minister.
self, going to go and say that the prime minister is encouraging people to do it. When you are paying boat fees and encouraging people to come over so that they can bring them and talk about the prime minister. And then you say, politics is a nasty game, I don't like it.
I mean, it's so crazy because, all on social media, it does see, he shouldn't be talking about the premier because he is a board member. I mean, I could talk about people who is board members in National Bank and talk about the Prime Minister. I could talk about people who is board member on Social Security and talk ill about the Prime Minister. But what the Prime Minister highlighting that and running and saying, hey, remove the person or tell the person to shut up. No, people got the right to get their opinion.
Everybody's
and that's how you
entitled.
keep people honest. That's how you keep people up to date and doing their job. And if they were doing their job, they wouldn't have to have all of this free. Just do your job. People elect you to do a job. Do the job.
And this is one of the big problems. If you are not doing your job, so a man come to you
Blame
for a
somebody
job,
else.
and a man come for you to your job, and this is the problem that I have. Poor people are begging. We have become beggars,
Yes.
and I don't like it. I
Yes.
never like that.
Yes.
We put you in there. We didn't put you in there for me to come and beg you after.
Right.
We put you in there so that you can provide opportunities for me. Provide the opportunity, and I will not beg. You're going around sticking up on your status ATM out of order. How can you do that? I put you in there, and then you're gonna put up ATM out of order.
Yeah.
I don't need to come to your ATM if you can provide an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And then when you don't do those kind of things and you turn off people, then you're gonna blame somebody and say, oh, because the person is not giving you the opportunity to help.
Yeah.
So I come to you, weeks, Lord, I down and out. Help me now. You say, boy, at this point in time, I can't help you. I can't help you. You go to, I said, man, I'll do anything. Anything. You must have areas to put.
You must.
And I can tell you that because I've had the experience where I call and I ask qualified people who have went to CFBC and sitting down, can't get no work, and I call you and I say, man, you and I get along good. I know that there's an available position because I investigated. See how you can help me now? Girl, Sandro, not at this time, I can't help you. When you look, you bring 2 people, 3 people, and put them in the same position.
Yeah.
And this has been happening inside there. Because at the end of the day, you look for your friends.
Your friends.
You look, and I don't have a
Yes.
problem with you looking and you want your vote, and so you're gonna help some people.
Yeah, you
but
got
you
to, you
can't.
got
But
to.
then don't let people know you can't help everybody. But don't blame people, but
Don't
because
blame
they're
people,
trying to.
right? Exactly. Come straight out and say, because I got people who would message a minister for simple things, like, hey, maybe they feel like they're getting ill-treated on a job, and sometimes it's just okay, nothing else, but just okay. But now you hear these ministers saying that, oh, is the prime minister fault?
Every little thing.
Is the prime minister?
My thing is, let me tell you something. My thing is, at the end of the day, we put you in there so that you could create opportunities for us.
Yep.
If you can't create opportunity for us, I'm going to beg you, because it means that I gave you a salary and I'm out here still not having one. And then when it's time for election now, a year or 2 years, like now, when they're ready and they realize that they're in a situation, because everybody wants prime ministership, everybody wants fair share, everybody wants all kind of things. And now it's time for the people now to make that decision to help you to become the prime minister when you definitely, at the end of the day, ATM out of order, but they know you want people. Now you're gonna come back and you're gonna bring up this statement about nobody. Oh, your hands are tied. How comes your hands are tied when you're in the majority?
Yeah.
You have the majority. Now you have a majority that you could take to the Governor General.
Yeah.
And say that the prime minister is basically, you have no confidence in him, but you couldn't use that same majority voice to go to the prime minister and tell him, let me tell you something, we have a majority here, you can't hold on to the PAP programs.
Right.
How come all of a sudden now you could find a majority to go to the Governor General, and that same majority couldn't sit in cabinet and make decisions?
And make decisions.
How
Sit in
come? How
cabinet
come all of a
and brush it
sudden?
out. Exactly. Exactly, because you must have to come to some compromise. If you got
Definitely.
7 people saying, well, hey, we want this, we want help, we want this, you must have to come to a compromise, and it just deafening to hear that, you know, everything just pointed in one direction.
But then if the prime minister is such a powerful man, he ran the country on his own. And so what they were doing, sleeping, they were having a rip from wrinkle moment. So they wake up after 7 years and realize the prime minister is the only person who running this thing.
Yeah.
The prime minister is the only one who took off VAT. He's the only one who, because people don't know about the peace program, he's the only one who got the peace program together. He's the only one who had the PAP who got the
No,
PAP.
but in order to finance the peace program, you had to vote on it.
These are cabinet decisions.
So how you ain't on the vote?
They were texting when they were voting. No, but I need to know,
in order
because
for you
it doesn't
in order
make
for you
sense.
to put funds in PAP, you got to be, you know, a decision. You have to vote.
But I'm saying then, so what were they doing? Texting while they were voting? Or they were intoxicated? What it is? They're going to work drunk? I don't understand it. I can't seem, I am angry. You know why I'm angry? Because I can't seem to understand why these petty things like this can bring down a government.
Right. I mean, you
Poor people have to
but-
suffer again
but-
because...
But we got to be real that some people just do things in bad faith.
Okay, let's talk about bad faith. Now, you want to be the prime minister. The big problem with Tim is that he did not denounce this woman, Sharon Gopal, when she said, and I spoke to Sharon myself, that's why I tell you I can talk. And she said she was so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I made a statement based on my opinion.
Her opinion.
And my opinion has brought this. These people are so petty.
Yeah.
The woman was to tears. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, what are you talking about? I don't listen convention and convictions and all those, whatever they are, and caucuses. Caucus for me, when they brought about caucus, I thought it was dead animal.
Oh, no,
I didn't even, I don't get involved like that in politics. So when I said, what? She said, oh, she just said because the prime minister is doing so well, he deserves a third term.
No, not even deserve. She said he shouldn't.
He should.
He shouldn't. I want to use her exact word.
Please.
Dismiss. He shouldn't dismiss the possibility of a third term.
Okay, she said that.
Yes, she said that. That's how she feels. But that's how I feel too.
Right, and the whole, I
Because
think
that's my
the
party leader.
majority of St. would feel that way.
Well, that's my party leader. That's the party who I support. So who wouldn't want to see the person there? Just like the people from the People's Action Movement saying that they want to see the leader there too.
And
I mean,
I spoke
it's
personally to the PM,
logic.
and I said to him, and I've asked him, and he said, Sandra, we are governed by an agreement.
Yeah.
And but they felt like the prime minister should come out and say. And I've had discussion with parties, and it was like, oh, he needs to come and denounce it. Why? He didn't say it.
When they wanted him to come and denounce it, you mean after they done embarrass him at the convention, and they tell him that they ain't want him they had the 4 and they had the 3 and they could have formed a government without him.
But look at what they're
So
saying.
when they wanted him to say something,
But in 2020, they were trying
to undermine the process, and
Yeah.
is one of the own people who was the one who brought it to the attention of the general public.
Exactly.
To say that, hey, they're plotting.
And the premier has said that he was not in agreement for him to have
Yes,
it.
but
And that
he-
was
he
and
had
that
to say
he
it.
was not in agreement, but there was a plastic part of the Charleston Accord that they used for fair share for
fair
Nevis.
share.
Okay, let's talk about Nevis fair share. You know, it's so much things that we have to talk about. Let's stay on the part of where we were about the prime ministership.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the prime minister have 2 terms. His 2 terms have not yet expired. If you look at some of the terms and conditions on which here,
Yeah.
if you comply, then we would allow you to run up to 2023.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might
Yeah,
consider,
might consider
we will consider
you to
stay until 2023 when
So, when I don't-
2025 was supposed to be.
So when I don't give you finance, when I don't give you sustainable, when he done for your weeks, when he done for your weeks, when he done for your the ambassador, because no name was mentioned,
Yeah.
it could be more than one and all. When he done for the ambassadors, when he done make all these, when he done pull the PLP off of life support in all the other constituencies,
PLP.
when he done kill PLP, we might consider laying you stay till 2023. Now, how disrespectful you could be.
And let me tell you something, and I can tell people this. I knew this before this.
disrespectful you
I
could
was
be.
told about this
So,
before.
so PLP ain't matter? The people who support PLP ain't matter?
No, but it's the disrespect of the prime minister.
Yeah.
So then, exactly.
But then go after the Prime Minister, don't come talk about PLP. PLP is a movement. PLP is a movement. We got people who rally every day, rally the cause to even help some of these other ministers.
But listen, the thing is, they can go to their caucus and get their caucus approval. But
Disrespectful.
the prime minister can't come to PLP.
Yeah.
You can't come to
He can't come.
No,
Well, he can't come to us and ask us. Well, hey, what you think I should do? We should dismantle the party and move on and I. Where we gonna go? Where we gonna go?
But my thing is, Damien, this perfect timing. Let me tell Kittitians and Nivisians that we are living in a world, today's Earth Day, we are living in a world where everything is going wrong right now.
Yeah.
If you look at in China, in Shanghai, they're taking people out of their homes and isolating them. There's a virus that is on the rampage there. It's it's in America, it's in England, it's in the UK. It's wreaking havoc. We are not sure it's not here yet because people are getting sick and you don't know what they're sick of.
you don't
People
know
are
what it is,
dying
yeah.
and you don't know why they're dying. And so we were stable. Everybody look at our economy and can't believe we bounced back so quickly. No, we are having a problem. These things are still here. They're not gone yet. So when we are in chaos, and these things should hit here because we are trying to fix a political situation that was not necessary.
Yeah.
We are trying to satisfy people's personal agenda. People personal achievement, because that's what it is.
And
At the end of
ego.
the day, when you leave as a prime minister, your pension is bigger. So people go in there to make sure that they're set for life. You understand? And we stay here as silly people and we vote them in, not realizing that they are set for life and we're going to be beggars for the rest of life because they're going to put us back into hands of people who are going to keep us in the position that we are.
Yes.
And that is what they don't understand. So they don't care about us. And so I am talking to the people out there, having an understand the electorate. Those are the people who go to the polls and vote. Before you go to the polls and vote, get the information. Stop listening to people who are party blind by the party that they support. I don't support any political party right now. I don't have any to support because I do not like what my political party is doing. The one that I voted for.
Right.
I have problems with what is happening. And you know what? I feel I've been deceived because when I went and I had discussions, they said, no, Sandra, it's not like that. So I've been deceived.
Yes.
And so therefore, I can't support you. I am not going to go out there knowing who you are and vote for you. Not me, no how. Never. I don't do that. We need to get honest politicians in
the
here.
thing about it is that we got so much things that we supposed to be focusing on. You remember when Team Unity came about before, and it was a thing that, we lost visa-free access to Canada. I mean, what
It was
happened
supposed to
that?
come. What about the Bassey High School that they said?
Where's the focus? I mean, these things should be refocused. Your focus shouldn't be on social media and who attack on social media. get back with visa-free access.
But not only that, we have issues. People are complaining that you're having people dying. I'm saying complaining.
Yes.
The hospital needs attention. And I can tell you,
Yes.
the hospital, all of those face basins in the hospital need to drag out. The furniture inside there needs changing. Even though you don't have the state-of-the-art building,
yeah.
we
You
need to
can make
start
it
to
look
you can
good.
make it look good.
You can make it
Those
look good.
people up there, you don't have sheets. And we are back to where
Yeah.
we had the issue.
Yeah.
These are the things. Instead of fixing all of these roads, every minute you fix a road, you dig it back up, you put on sidewalks. Why
Yeah,
sidewalks?
so thank you for telling me, because you're not going after me, Minister.
Well, you need to, because
Of
this
course.
is the whole thing. So they are supposed to be focusing on these things,
Yes.
because if you can't build a hospital at this time, fix it.
Fix it. Make it-
Bastia
make it
High
nicer.
School. Bastia High School. Bastia High School was supposed to be one of the areas that of great concern. When you're fighting here, all these infighting and saying what you didn't get, these petty things about social media, and you're supposed to be trying to see how you can find monies to do these projects. Only the Prime Minister could do that.
Yeah.
So what is your contribution? So the Prime Minister make the money and you spend it?
Yeah.
And when you done whack it up and he can't give you no more, you decide that you're going to mash it up?
Yeah.
But this is what it is. Now we talk about good governance. Let's talk about this. We talk about good governance. We talk about being accountable to the people about what happened to their purse. You see, now the Prime Minister asks about accountability. You all now have to start to show how you're spending the people's money.
Yeah, so how you're spending
that is
the
a
money.
problem.
And
Get
that
rid
is
of
a
him.
problem, yeah. I mean, come on. You can't tell me that, hey, you're spending the money how you're supposed to spend it, but people feel like their lives are not being, upgraded. You can't tell me that people, you're spending the money how it's supposed to be spent, but people still feel like, hey, they had to come and beg. I mean, it's just crazy. But I just got a little message here from somebody in the admin, a good friend of mine is in the admin in the ministry, and she basically said, well, hey, we already started fixing the hospital, all upgrade furnitures, etc. will be done. And budget is already budget and the architects are already here.
Good. Well, you see,
So somebody
I don't
listening,
know.
yeah. So somebody
I don't know,
listening
and I need. These are the things
Yes,
for me.
yes.
These are the things
But
that you
these is-
promise,
right, and
these are the
and-
things you're supposed to be
And this is
working
the thing
on.
we're supposed to be speaking about, so that the ministers could understand, well, hey, this is what we want. We ain't care about your petty vibes. Once you're doing what you're supposed to do and doing your job, we're going to support you. And that's what they
Exactly.
got to understand.
People are running away. What I said, and I said before, when I look at what's happening in St. Kitts, we are not prioritizing. We see where people are benefiting.
Yes.
Projects where people can benefit. Let me tell you something now. I never understood how, because people say, oh, they're thief money. I'm like, how they get thief money? Well, there's no accountability in government. But when I see, and it makes my stomach sick. And right now, I don't even want to talk about it because it makes me sick to my stomach. When you can do these things without a conscience.
Right.
Poor people are suffering. We just came out of an epidemic, a pandemic, where we had to put all these stimulus packages in place.
Exactly.
You're complaining about the Social Security, saying that they ain't gonna give them more money, but then you're using up all of these money on roads and sidewalks and unnecessary things.
Yeah.
Why? Building little huts and all those kind of. That is not necessary.
Yeah. I mean, but it's so tough, and because when the Prime Minister announced that we would have an extension in the funds for persons who are not working, the income support. I mean, he had, and I posted it on social media, and he had persons who had a job, who have a job, good paying job, and they was making nice, and saying, well, hey, well, you keep on giving the people more money. You know, let them find something to do and them kind of things and so. I mean, the thing about it is that you can't ever vex, but you could still be mad because these people don't know how it is to not have. They got a job. You got people out there still ain't have a job. The government trying to do as much, the Prime Minister trying to do as much, and so say, well, hey, what we could do to create employment. He alluded to construction and said, well, we're going to go into construction and that would try help boost the economy. Because at the end of the day, not because you got a degree, that means you must sit down behind a desk. You could go do some construction. You pay more. I could tell you that. Some persons doing to construction coming home with $1,200,
Boy,
$1,500 a week.
I have hired people to do some work for me, and I never realized I want to go do into construction. I want anybody who wants to join with me to form a construction company. There's money in there. It's not the degree that you get in university. It is the trade, the skill that you have, and that is what is encouraged. That is why I like this government. That's why I like the construct, because they were encouraging people who were skilled. But you know, we are out of time, and before WinFM kick me off the radio station, we have to definitely run. But then let me tell you, and I'm going to let the public know, we need to let people know what is going on. We have the information is here, and we need to let people know what is going on. We are waiting to see what is going to happen, but at the end of the day, I want the general public to know that we are the electorate. We have to start holding the government accountable for the way our purse is handled, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be taxed. We are the ones, government make money from us. It's our money they use so that country can run.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when people can spend it off, we are the ones going to have to suffer the consequences. Prices are going up. Shortages of food is there. I'm asking you all to start stocking up on your goods, because Best Buy would have said that the ships are not coming the way they're supposed to come in, and so therefore we have to start spending wisely, and that is one of the reasons why we have to say no to chaos. We do not want this chaos at this time. The country is doing what it's supposed to do, and we are going to continue to support the government that we voted for. If that is not the case, then we have to go back to the polls. My name is Sandra Quilly-Atherton. It was a pleasure being here with you. Damien, it's a pleasure. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
We'll come back and we're going to talk the things. We're going to let people know. We're going to let people know.
So you're having me back next week?
Next week you're coming, yeah.
Okay.
So I want the public to know that Damien is going to be back here next week, and we're going to talk about the things that is happening, and they're facts, huh?
Yeah.
We are not going to scandalize anybody's name, because we don't want the station to be sued,
Right.
and I cannot afford to pay any lawyer at this point in time. It's a beautiful Friday. Protocols are still in place. Wear your mask, social distance, make sure you wash your hands, stay away from each other, because COVID it's a variant that is moving and multiplying and changing, and so therefore we have to make sure that we are on top of things. Stay tuned to WinFM 98.9. Voices is up next.
Come take a look. More food to eat and cook. More places to see than you read in a
The views and opinions expressed on this program were solely those of the caller and do not reflect the views of WinFM 98.9. WinFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who